obviously not every man who plays poker is a douche, but pretty much every douche who plays poker is a man.
It's the Poker News Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 901st episode of the Poker News Podcast. I am Chad Holloway, a Level 9 studio, joined by Kyna England, and filling in for Mike Holtz, James Hartigan, one of the greatest voices in poker in the United States right now.
Up my ass. Chad, happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We're very happy to have you as well. We got a good show. We're going to talk about some meetup games that are coming up. We're going to talk about a big cheating controversy in a Texas poker room. Surprise, surprise. We're going to revisit what we touched upon very shortly last episode, very briefly. It was the man playing in a women's satellite and winning, because there's been some follow-up to that.
Yeah. Just let the ladies fucking play.
We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about a harsh reaction to a particular Poker News article. We're going to get into some recent tournament winners, including Benny Glaser. Adrian Mateos is back in the winner's circle, Dylan Linde, Jesse Lonis, and so on and so forth. So let's start with the Poker News Podcast meetup game. Just a real quick plug. It is coming up this Friday. So tomorrow, as this episode comes out, is going to be from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., probably later than that, at the Planet Hollywood Poker Room. This is one of the newest poker rooms in Vegas. I was over there earlier today to talk to the guys. Pretty excited about it. I messaged Kyna and Mike, hoping that you guys can make it. And of course, you're invited. Everybody is invited.
That's very kind of you. I think I'm going to be working on Friday evening for sure. Weirdly, I was back at Planet Hollywood the other day, and I did not realize that poker room had reopened. I'm like, I got a couple of hours to kill, so I'm sort of playing $25 pie gow. And then I realized there's a poker room upstairs.
Yeah, it's real nice. Like the ceilings are real high. It looks very spacious. I don't know how many tables there are, but like the way it's set up, it makes it look a lot bigger than I think it actually is.
Yeah, we're going to have a bunch of cash games going. You can join us. We're going to have prizes to give away. Keep an eye out on social media for that. Let's talk about this cheating controversy from Texas at a poker club named JokerStars.
I kind of feel that we could get them for IP infringement, right?
Yeah.
That's a little bit too close, and it's a well-known meme in the poker world, the whole JokerStars thing, right? But
hold on, didn't we talk about that last week too? Isn't that the one where Adrian Peterson had the fight?
It is
It's
the
like
same
2 weeks
one.
in a row talking about this JokerStars poker room.
are we sure this place is genuine and isn't just a kind of a meme setup for like weird stuff happening in poker?
I mean, it makes you wonder how serious of an operation it is. I mean, with a name like that and the stuff that's been happening there. So we talked about Adrian Peterson last week, about the fight that was there. You've seen the video footage. TMZ released it. Well, there was a big cheating scandal that they posted about. So it's kudos to them for, I guess, not sweeping it under the rug and actually getting it out there, where it was a player, a former employee there, a former ambassador, I guess, invited 2 new people into a game, and they were discovered to have like swapped in an RFID cards and had a reader, and we're coordinating cards, sharing cards.
Wait, how did they just swap in cards?
But this is the thing, right? You know, like there are some cheating scandals in poker, and when you dig into it, you go, okay, this is quite sophisticated. This is like quite smart. This is dumb. This is like stupid cheating. The guy is on camera, literally going to the table, taking the cards out of the deal as well, and putting different cards in there. And then he's sitting at the table with this electronic device on the rail that's clearly giving him the card information from an RFID deck.
And like people, did it take a while to notice? Because like those cards clearly feel a little different.
They do feel different.
Yeah.
They do feel
like
different.
how long did it take people to notice?
I don't think, let me see. So we got an article up that Will Shillabeer wrote this one. And I think it was the club owner and the general manager were alerted to, I think there were suspicions, right, that was going on. And so they did an internal investigation, reviewed some footage, and then the general manager went out and confronted this gentleman named Carlito, who was the former employee who did the swapping out. During the commotion, his accomplices,
they literally ran away.
Yeah.
They were confronted, kind of realized, that the gig's up, and they bolted out the door. So that was obviously like an obvious confession of guilt. I would say that depending on who was playing in the game, I don't know if like these were regular players and whether they would necessarily notice the difference. I think the difference is very obvious, but I guess you have to handle cards a reasonable amount to know that. But again, they they're never clever about this. It's never kind of like, okay, let's just take the odd edge here and there. It's like, we're determined to win every single hand.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's just like pretty obvious then. Like somebody figures it out right away.
Yeah. And when they confronted Carlito, he initially denied it. And then they had video evidence and they found the device in his backpack. So he obviously admitted up to it. He would go on to say that in text message exchange that he admitted to it, saying he got drug into this scam. Look, he got banned for life. They confiscated. He said that they didn't win much, like $400, but they confiscated $2,700 that he had on him, whether or not that was there, and then just distributed it amongst the players that were there. Said that they're going to get more custom-made cards so that it's not easy to just swap in and out.
Yep.
And this is to me indicative of two things. Number one is Texas really is the wild, wild west of poker right now. Yes, I trust in certain rooms like Doug Polk's The Lodge and Texas Card House. They seem to have very reputable business models going. But these smaller ones, and I've visited some of them on our Texas road trip years ago, like it's like a glorified home game.
Yeah.
And so be careful in Texas. And then also just, it shows a little bit, well, this was kind of a dumb one. It does show that the technology is there and a smart criminal could be, cheating these games.
And I would like to echo the point you made, Chad, which is credit to the card room for coming clean with this and also realizing that they are partly to blame for not taking the right protocols to ensure that something like this couldn't happen in terms of having not generic decks of cards and making sure that, that they're policing their poker room and watching the players at all times. But yeah, I mean, this was never going to fly for more than like one night, was it? It was going to be so obvious that this was going to be found out.
And man, what's going to happen at JokerStars next week?
Look at our hero, all dressed up with nowhere to go. He bluffed with Squadouche. Failed bluff plus shattered pride equals let's reload, baby. Experience the excitement of Vegas right from your screen. Download the WSOP now for free.
All right, well, let's talk about the story we touched upon a little bit last week. The male poker player who sparked controversy after winning a WSOP Ladies Champ satellite. Not only won it, ended up playing again later that night, and I think he's playing every night.
I think he's played all of them now is what I've seen. And we were tame about it last week on the podcast. We just said, this may give him benefit of the doubt. Yep. Maybe he made an oopsie. This is clearly not an oopsie anymore. It was all over Twitter. People have to know that this guy, have to inform to this guy that, hey, your face is out there. People know you're doing it, and he's still doing it anyway. It's like a big fuck you to this loophole in the rules is that WSOP hasn't set it up well enough to make sure that only ladies register for this specific one. There are the same kind of satellites running concurrently with this one. He does not have to play this one. This one's always smaller because people see, hey, this is for the ladies. And just because it's not like an enforced rule doesn't mean you're not a scumbag for still abusing this loophole.
100%.
Like you're a scumbag, Albert.
Albert Ng is the name. I knew who he was. He's been at a Run It Up Reno before. PokerNews talked to him. He was playing in, I think, the Millie Maker or something, and went and, I don't want to say confronted him. Yeah, but to ask him, what the situation was. He basically just said, look, I fire everything on there. He didn't confirm nor deny whether he knew it was a satellite for the ladies event, even though it says right up there.
But the first time you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, right? When he's saying that I'm firing everything, you get that one mulligan.
Yeah.
But then when you're entering it every single day, it's like you're just being a huge douche.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played it yesterday. Just like after I busted. I was at one of the ladies' tournaments. I busted. I had dinner with a friend. I jumped in it. I'm playing. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, look who's at my table. It's Albert again. Look at that.
But two questions. First of all, why do you think he's doing it? What point is he trying to prove?
It's just like probably a smaller field. It's an easy way to win one of those 1K seats. He can use it for other tournaments. So it's a loophole. He's abusing it.
That was going to be my second question is, can he transfer that value?
It seems like from what Kev Math said that, and I almost wish we wouldn't talk about it to make it public because I don't want other people to come in and abuse the rules. It's really like a WSOP.com problem they have to fix. They can filter for gender. They just have chose not to, or they haven't set it up yet. And so you can enter it and it's just a 1K credit to your account.
Yeah, you see, that's what I would do differently. I'd say, okay, there's your 1K credit. Now we need the other $9,000 for you to play this
They
poker
should,
tournament.
yeah.
And guess what? If you otherwise it's non-transferable because this was clearly labeled, clearly advertised as a satellite for this tournament.
Yeah, no, that's actually a good point because WSOP did release a little bit of a statement saying that if he did want to play the ladies event with it, he would have to pony up the other 9,000.
Of course.
But I like your idea better of like, you have to now. Either you sacrifice the 1,000 because you took advantage, you took this seat away from another female player.
It's a non-transferable credit. He should not be allowed to use that 1K to play any World Series event.
There's just some things you don't do, right? Like it's not against the rules technically. It is a loophole. But as I said in our office when we were talking, like there's just some things you don't do in society. And like, for instance, like you don't go to a girls' little league softball game if you're a 50-year-old man who has no kids.
Yeah.
Like you just
of course.
don't
you
do
just
that.
Don't do it.
You can. There's nothing stopping you, but you just don't do that.
But people still to this day, and I guess it's not an unfair question in the year 2025, people will say, why do we have to have women's only tournaments? Well, this guy gives you further evidence of why it's necessary because, and I'm going to choose my words carefully here, obviously not every man who plays poker is a douche, but pretty much every douche who plays poker is a man. And it's an environment I sometimes don't like playing in. So I can completely understand why it would be off-putting to many women to play in. And, you know, I play in many games where the only woman at the table is the dealer, for example, and the shit they have to put up with. And I try to do my best. And basically, if I feel that a guy is really overstepping the line, I'll sort of say something or clearly making someone uncomfortable, try and white knight the situation. And I'm often very disappointed that I don't get any support or backing from other men at the table. And it's just a problem that the game's always had. And I'd like to think that one day it'll be eradicated, but maybe I'm just being naive. Maybe it's always going to be there, particularly in an environment where, you know, sexism has been normalized and misogyny often is condoned. So...
And you make a good argument for like why we do like want to have ladies only events in person. I think I did see a comment by Ryan DePaulo, and I appreciate Ryan DePaulo, and he did say it's one thing to have the ladies tournament live because it's a comfort thing. The online thing is kind of silly though, because you are by yourself. And I do agree. We don't need ladies only online tournaments. That's just for fun.
But this is a satellite to a ladies live event.
That's what I'm saying.
Ryan's point is asinine in that regard.
It is a good argument for one side, but this satellite was specifically for this event. You know what I mean? And you're now abusing the rules. So the fact that you're just taking advantage of this loophole, like we said, once is an oopsie and we gave you credit for it, but now we're fucking talking about it, Albert, because you've done it almost every day. All right. So back up. I hope they make you pony up the extra 9K. And I hope we see you in the ladies event. Come on and play with us. It'll be fun.
Well, kind of along these lines, I want to talk about an article that went up from my good friend, Will Schillebier. And it was a series he's done for several years now, at least 2 years, in the month of June, which is Pride Month. Yep. And Will is proudly a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and he profiles others in that community in this series. And for the second year in a row, when this gets posted, these articles get posted to social media, the comments are disgusting on a lot of them.
Before we came in here, Chad, you sent me a link to Facebook. And I know that if I'm going to a Facebook page, what I'm going to see is not going to be good. And
surprisingly, too, they were worse on Facebook than on Twitter.
Yeah. But okay, I'm going to ask a kind of broader question. Why do we have to have a reaction, response, commentary to everything that we put out there as a piece of content? Why does everything have to be a two-way street? I'm probably showing my age here.
Right, yeah.
And bear in mind, I worked in like news media for many years, and it's like you put out a broadcast and people listen to it. Yeah. You publish an article, people read it. Now everyone has to react.
Comments,
there has to be a comment section. I don't give a fuck what people think about this. Just read it, enjoy it, take something away from it.
That was my point too. And there's going to be comments on this video now because of what we just said too.
Oh, great. I hope you all comment. I hope all of you that made comments on that post get paper cuts every day. We don't want you. We don't want you listening to our podcast. That's not the audience that we want. If you had something nasty to say about that post, then please exit. Don't, unsubscribe. Don't follow. Don't watch us. I don't care.
But it kind of like these two stories that we're talking about here are sadly kind of interlinked in the sense that we'd like to think that in the year 2025, there wouldn't be that level of intolerance. But also, we are currently living in a time where that level of intolerance has been normalized to the point that people feel proud to voice these really ugly opinions as if they are valid and should be aired in public. And that's really, really sad. This is stuff that people maybe thought behind closed doors and kept to themselves, and now they feel emboldened to say it. And they like the fact that they know they're going to cause offense by saying it.
It's disgusting.
So the article in question was about Cole Ferraro, who's
a great player and a great person.
Exactly, and WSOP bracelet winner who has been out since he entered the poker community. And so Will just caught up with him, got to know him a little bit, and profiled his story, his life a little bit. A lot of the comments were just like, I don't care about, this sort of thing, or who somebody loves. That's his personal life. Who somebody has sex with, this, that, and the other. And they stick to poker, stick to cards. And
no mention of who he has sex with, by the way, in the article.
The worst is when people bring up saying like, don't make this political. No, this is about human decency.
Exactly.
This is about shining a spotlight on the kind of the different elements of society and the community that is the poker world. There's nothing political about this. You're making it political by saying that.
I said I don't usually get in the mud with this sort of thing, but like it did get me fired up a little bit. And I basically responded like, do you feel the same about, like, I've written hundreds, thousands of stories, profiles on people who have won bracelets. And yes, I've mentioned people who they were just married and this is going to change their life because they can take their new wife on a honeymoon, or their kids are going to be so proud of them. The veterans who play in the Salute to Warriors, someone who's dying from cancer and living their life, their dream, and then playing the main event. All sorts of stuff like that. You don't care about that?
That doesn't offend their sensibilities of what they consider to be normal.
Normal, yeah.
Right. And so the comments on this, you commented negatively. Not everybody did. There was some support there, but there was a lot of just nasty ones. And if you're one of those people that kind of said, just like, I don't want those sort of people.
We don't want you watching our podcast. Go fuck off.
This is Cole's one of the greatest guys in poker. It's just his story. Everybody has a different story, and we profile them all. And if you don't like it, here's the other thing: just don't click it. You don't have to voice, like you said, your disgusting opinion on it. And I don't know. I just wanted to include that because June is Pride Month. Whether you support it, you like it, you want to be a part of it, it doesn't matter. It's been around since, I think the 1970s is when the groundwork was laid and it was officially recognized in 1999. So, we're going on 30 years, 25 years. Like
insane trivia always.
Yeah, and it's here. It doesn't and if you don't want to be a part of it, just move on. You don't have to.
Go do something else.
Yeah, and they're going to say, like, we just don't want it slammed in our faces and things like that.
But to flip it on its head, you have to, and this is the way I always try to look at it. It's like, I feel pity for these people because what have they got going on in their lives other than responding to random articles on Facebook? That might be the highlight of their day. And for that, the world's smallest violin is playing just for them.
And it just sucks that it took away from all of Cole's success. Like, congrats, Cole, on all your success. And keep grinding, keep going. Like, you're a great player. You're a great person.
And I'll use the opportunity now to give it a positive message because one thing that is promoted in the article and in another article that Will did was a new group that has risen up called Raise LGBTQ+, which is promoting and raising the profile and visibility of that community within poker.
Great.
There's a Facebook group. There's an Instagram group. I'll link to it. I think they're on X as well. And it's relatively new and founded by Jana Leach. And good, right?
Yeah.
Like it might not be, I feel like it's kind of like in poker, like it's in sports, right? Like, that in NFL football and in basketball, there are gay players. They're just not out there because the sport hasn't opened itself up to it. And I think it's a little different in poker because there are some Jason Somerville, Vanessa Selps that have come out over the years, but I still think there's a huge portion who just aren't comfortable with it because of feedback like in this article. Mm-hmm. And like women in poker too, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Check it out. I will link to it in the show notes. Let us talk about recent tournament winners presented by WPT Global, starting with WSOP 2025. This is where we've all been. And a huge story, Benny Glaser. Benny Glaser.
Yes, Benny's very particular about it, rightly so. And we for years have been calling him Benny Glaser. And he said, guys, you talk about me all the time because I'm always winning stuff. So Benny Glaser.
I think that you and Joe can be our go-to because we have a tradition, not like we have a tradition of butchering names.
Terrible.
On the PokerNews
Terrible.
podcast.
I just see like a word and I try my best. Like
Yeah.
I don't even really go. I'm just like. Bleh.
I try my best. I'm not going to lie. There are sometimes when you just say it confidently and hope for the best. But yeah, no, Benny is Benny Glaser. And the weird thing is, I remember 15 years ago when Benny was an up-and-coming player and he was a regular viewer of the EPT live streams and he would be messaging us on, as it was, Twitter back in the day, using the hashtag EPT Live before we had live chat on YouTube and Twitch. And I remember Benny winning a side event at EPT London, and then he turned into the beast that he has become. And we know him from his online success, all of the W Coop titles and Scoop titles he's won. And now, you know, is it 7, 8 World Series bracelets in total?
I think he is up
9?
to, no, he's not up to 9 yet.
Oh, he was doing like this in the picture. Okay,
8.
so
I
that's
think it's
8.
8.
Yeah.
I think it's up to 8, yeah. And so it's his third bracelet
This summer
in 3 weeks. And there's still, a month to go-ish.
And when it comes to mixed games, when it comes to non-Hold'em games, he is one of the best in the world, hands down, both live and online.
Wow.
He became just the 8th player in WSOP history to win 3 gold bracelets in a single summer. I believe the first was Puggy Pearson in 1973. Ted Forrest and Phil Hellmuth did it in 1993. Phil Ivey, I believe, in 2002. Jeff Lissandro in 2009. George Danzer in 2014, with an asterisk because one of his came in Asia Pacific.
Okay.
Right? So 2 in Vegas, 1 in Asia Pacific. Last year, Scott Seaver. And now you have Benny doing it. And it's amazing to
Do
me,
you have
right?
that open?
No, really. I just
to
knew
be
that.
clear, just because 3 is the max. So all these guys are tied on 3.
Yes.
Nobody's gotten 4?
No. So if Benny were to get a 4th this summer, it would be a new record and just
Wow.
simply unbelievable.
Yeah. Are there a lot of mixed games left?
There's a good amount. Like some of his, the
PPC,
the
right?
50K PPC just got underway. There's a lot of events that he'll have an opportunity because, like you said, he won the 1500 Dealer's Choice, the 1500 Mixed PLO 8, and the 2500 Mixed Triple Draw Low Ball for $208,000.
How do you put yourself through that pain? How do you play all of those games?
He, my good friend at Poker Go, Tim Duckworth, he's all about the stats. And he said that, so he released a tweet that saying after winning his first bracelet in the year 2000, Phil Ivey took him to win his 8th bracelet, 3,697 days. So right, a little over 10 years, I guess. Benny, after winning his first bracelet, his first was just back in 2015. So another 10 years, won his 8th in 3,657 days. So 40 days sooner. So Benny has the record for fastest to 8 bracelets.
Does that mean it's official that Benny Glaser is better at poker than Phil Ivey? Is that what Duckworth is implying here?
I mean, I don't know if that's what he is implying, but I'm sure like it does give him legendary status in some regard. And he's only, I think he's 35. So another 5 years for him to be Poker Hall of Fame eligible. But man, if he keeps this up, and assuming he might win a bracelet or 2 in between now and then, if not yet this year, just a mixed game legend without a doubt. And to win 3 in a year is, as I just laid out, only 8 people ever done it. And one, Puggy Pearson, before that happened again, was 20 years, right? And then again from 93 to 2002. And then again, so like, but now we have back-to-back years of 3-time bracelet winners.
Especially when you consider, as this series grows year on year and the fields just keep getting bigger. And I appreciate we're talking about mixed games. It's not quite the kind of 10,000 Hold'em fields that we see in some events. But even so, you're not having to just cut through 50 players.
Mm-hmm.
You're having to cut through a field of hundreds.
Yeah, fields are getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to put it in perspective, so Benny, he's 36 actually, according to the article. And with 8 bracelets, he's only behind 6 people on the all-time leaderboard to cement his legacy. So Johnny Moss has 9, Eric Seidel has 10, Johnny Chan has 10, Doyle Brunson had 10, Phil Ivey with 11, and Phil Hellmuth with 17. His name is now amongst those players.
Crazy. Way to go,
at the
Benny.
age of 36.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. And even if he breaks everything else this summer, in the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to come back and win more.
Yeah. We did have a little winner's interview with Benny. Check it out.
Benny, you're 6-time bracelet winner. Let's go on through your mind and hear those words.
Feels amazing, honestly. I was just saying, it does feel like it's an elite club. Like getting into kind of the rarity where it's like, that's feeling pretty special. Like 6 is really cool. honestly, also just like relief after just the insane day I've had. Yeah, I'm very proud. I love it. Yeah.
So as you were saying, you're now in some elite company. What do you think this win does for you in terms of your legacy and place in the history of the game?
I would like to think it helps. Eventually if I'm going for Poker Hall of Fame, then that will be nice. I hope more bracelets will be helpful for that.
Finally dealt the last card. You seemed relieved. What was going through your mind then?
I was so relieved. He was all in like 10 or 11 times. I genuinely lost count. It was insane. He was down to 45K three-handed at big blind 120 and then won 6 or 7 all-ins in a row. And then heads up, he was down to 125 and then survived like 5 all-ins in a row. I was getting concerned again.
What's coming up for you next in the World Series?
I'm actually not sure. I was just saying to my friend, I'm not sure what event is tomorrow. Whatever mixed event is on tomorrow, I'll most probably play. I don't think I'll take a day off, even though I'm like very sleep deprived. In a way, I'm sad that there's some events I missed, like 10K08, No Limit Single Draw today. But obviously, it was absolutely worth it to miss them.
All right, another big winner, winning his 5th bracelet, is one of the best poker players in the world, in my opinion, has been for a couple of years, is Spain's Adrian Mateos. Won the first hybrid, right? So this event started online. They brought back the final table to play it out live. And just 10 days before turning 31, he became the 5th player in history to win 5 WSOP titles by the age of 30. I did read that one. That one's not in my bank. Joining Phil Ivey, Phil Hellmuth, Alan Cunningham, and Daniel Alaei. Took it down for $253,000. It was a 3,200 high roller online event. 444 runners. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of familiarity with him.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been 18, 19 when he won his first bracelet, which was the World Series of Poker Europe main event, 2014. And then he came onto our radar when he won the EPT Grand Final in Monte Carlo in 2015. And he has just continued to put up results. I would say he's probably been one of the best in the world for the last 10 years and now plays all of the high roller events, plays at an elite level, is also a phenomenal online player as well. The joke is, in order to play on PokerStars, he lives in the United Kingdom. He and a bunch of other Spanish pros moved to London to a house in Hammersmith, which they called the Glory House, the Casa del Glory. So he's Hammersmith's Adrian Mateos. He's the UK's Adrian Mateos. He's one of the best British players out there.
I've been to Hammersmith because it was the home office for a little while.
Right, yeah. You could have visited him. He's just down the road.
I did not know that, actually. So another big winner was Dylan Linde, who took down the $50,000 PLO tournament for $2.1 million. I've known him as a mixed game guy for sure. So obviously he knew PLO, but like I didn't know him to go into a 50K PLO high roller and come out on top.
Yeah, way to go.
This was one of the events that we were lucky enough to be able to stream on the PokerStars Twitch and YouTube channels. And it was a fun final table. It did not go the way we thought it would go. So they had a situation where they were three-handed. Dylan was a monster stack. Richard Grieco was a monster stack. Stephen Chidwick had about 9 big blinds. Oh. And what ended up happening is the 2 big stacks, I guess you could call it ICM suicide, end up in a massive pot. And Grieco just pulled off this audacious bluff, but ran into it. Linde knocks out Grieco, gets heads up against Chidwick, who's a short stack, and it's done in 2 hands of heads up. So Dylan Linde didn't exactly have to work for it at that stage. The heads up battle was relatively easy and straightforward. But yeah, I think that's his 3rd bracelet. So Joe was very keen to call it the triple Linde.
So Stephen Chidwick is the UK's 2nd best poker player then, are we saying?
After Adrian Mateos. Stephen Chidwick officially number 1 on the UK all-time analyst. And I think number 2 overall behind Bryn Kenny.
I think so. And one of the things I loved about this was, so him and Dylan were friends, right?
Yes.
So much so you would think that, losing heads up, missing out on a bracelet, missing out on the $700,000 difference. Some people might be sad. No, Stephen Chidwick was in the winner's photo for Dylan, which I just thought was awesome.
Yeah, there was definitely camaraderie between those 2 guys, but the funniest moment was when it got 4-handed. It was on one side of the table, you got Dylan and Stevie. On the other side, you got Richard Grieco and Biao Ding. And Dylan described it as the hairs and hair knots.
I was going to say, yeah.
I love that. Well, let's go to a winner's interview that we had with Dylan Linde. Check it out.
You just won your 3rd WSOP gold bracelet. What's going through your mind right now? What does this win mean to you?
Kind of stunned. It's been a few really deep runs in a row. I feel very fortunate, and I feel, incredibly lucky to win a large amount, my third bracelet, and to get heads up with one of my best friends. I can't imagine a better day.
How's this win compare to your first one in 2021 in the 1500 Omaha high-low mix?
It's interesting because I had been trying for a long time to win a bracelet and made a lot of final tables and hadn't. So that one felt special in that, yes, I finally did it. That being said, this one feels more special in that it's a gigantic event against literally the best players in the world. So I think this one means a bit more to me. Also, again, there's a larger pile of cash at the end too.
All right, 2 other bracelet winners, online bracelet winners. One was Matthew Wantman, which I thought was interesting because he put out a tweet saying something like, was I excited to win an online bracelet? Was I excited to win $175,000? Yeah. So one that kind of knows. But we mentioned him earlier in the summer because he finished runner-up, Darren Elias. He was on the best without a bracelet list, but he got one. He won an online event, which is... And we've had this conversation before. It's still a bracelet, so you're not taking away from it.
Best without a bracelet. Now he's got a bracelet. But that's actually funny too, though, because both of those guys also got second place in live events.
Right.
And then they won online bracelets, both of them.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, not to take away from it, but I'm pretty sure if you ask them, would you rather win a live one or an online one, right?
Yeah.
We've had this conversation here before. So
Glory.
There's another tournament that recently wrapped up at the Venetian because I know you were very invested in it. It was the ladies event.
Yes, the Venetian had their first ladies high roller event. It was a $2,500 tournament sponsored by Lips. It got quite a turnout. I think, I don't know exact numbers. Chad's the numbers guys, but I think it had over 100 entries for a ladies event, high roller. It was a 3-day event. I watched the final table because my good friend Jackie Burkhart had made it. She was chip leader going into day 3. She ended up getting third. Good job, Jackie. We love you. It was such a fun sweat. I'm back and forth, texting people, watching the live stream, watching the stream. I'm like, what's going on? Trying to keep track. It was so much fun. But she got third. And then Tirza Sanders got first. And I think she's from LA, but she won the ladies win event in December too. I played that one with her. She's kind of a silent crusher. She just kind of sneaks up on you and then all of a sudden she wins. So super great win. She won that one for $67K, I believe. First ladies high roller at the Venetian. Good job.
Well, somebody who isn't a silent crusher, a very loud crusher, but at the win was Jesse Lonis. Lonis. I always,
How do you not know that one yet? How many times have we talked about Jesse?
I've talked to him. It's just, it gets Jesse Lonis.
The guy's name has come up so much in the last 2 years because of the amount he's won.
But they call him gorilla, right? He's always got the gorilla emoji.
Yeah. He won a $25K 8-max high roller at the Wynn Summer Classic. 56 players. Won it for $410,000. Just continues the life heater.
But here is the problem, right? I'm not trying to say that isn't impressive, but when you say to me, Jesse Lonis won a 20, yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's that's just another day in the life of Jesse Lonis.
Oh, okay. Good job, Jesse. We like you. Okay. Leave some money for the rest of us.
And go get that bracelet. He's drafted high in that fantasy league. So get back to the horseshoe. There is one other event we want to talk about. We got to appease the PokerStars. Overlords, as we like to say.
I'm sure my bosses will be very happy, Chad.
Well, my bosses too sometimes. They are a sponsor of the Poker News podcast, but they had a event going on, a PokerStars Open in Malaga.
Malaga in Spain. So obviously, the big change coming into 2025 is all of the local tours. We had the Estrellas, the UK and Ireland Poker Tour. They all kind of effectively merged and became these PokerStars Opens, which are these standalone 1K events with side events around the festival. So I was in Malaga last year, and it was a Nexus event. It was an Estrellas, a Spanish Poker Tour event, and a UK IPT event. Malaga is in Spain, but a lot of Brits go abroad to Spain in the summer. So they thought, let's make it kind of like a UK event as well. And I think the main had about 1,100 entries. As a PokerStars Open, it had more than 1,600. And this repositioning of these regional events has really boosted the fields with the addition of the live league as well, with people trying to earn points to win these leaderboard prizes and potentially a Team Pro contract at the end of the year. But yeah, it was a fun event to go to last year. It's a nice location. right by the sea, great weather at that time of year. So no FOMO because I'm here, you understand.
Right.
But kind of wish the two didn't clash. But I think it's a great alternative to have these events in Europe for people who don't want to schlep it across the Atlantic to Vegas. And also tournaments at a different price point as well.
Yeah.
And if they ever want Poker News podcast on site, you wouldn't mind
We're
going to
always
Spain.
looking. We're always, we're always willing to go abroad. I would love to see Spain. Send us over, please.
Like you said, over 636 entries, more than a 1.5 million euro prize pool was won by Manuel Ferrari for 206,000 euros after a heads-up deal with Armano Di Nicola for 188,000 euros as part of that deal. So not too shabby for that 1,100 euro buy-in.
Not at all. And I think, I think there was always an expectation that these events would be successful. But with the fields that we've seen at recent stops, I know when it comes to Barcelona, because now they have a PokerStars Open at the start of an EPT, that 1K main event, they're actually going to make a 1,600 because they know that they have to do something. Otherwise, we're just not going to be able to get it done in time. We're not going to be able to house all those players. So nice problems to have, but still kind of a shame that we have to kind of like change things on the fly to, after people may have already made plans just to make it work.
Okay. Well, I want to plug 2 poker meetup games. We already talked about the Poker News one. That is coming up on Friday, the 27th at Planet Hollywood. I'm going to be there. Hopefully, Kyna, Mike, a bunch of others are going to come. We're going to play a lot of games, have a lot of drinks, give away some prizes. It's going to be fun. If you can, please come over and join us. But there's also one the following day on Saturday with a PokerStars Ambassador meetup game. I know you're not going to be there because you got to work, but
no, I'm actually going on vacation, Chad.
Even better.
So I had plans for the summer before I learned that we were partnering with PokerGo to stream selected days of the World Series of Poker. Something which, when I say out loud, by the way, I still can't fully believe, but it is a thing. So I do have a few days off, and I thought I could always cancel the vacation. I could always, take one for the team. So glad I didn't, because you know this better than anyone. I've hit the Vegas wall.
Oh yeah,
which you get midway through the series. It's like, I need a break. I need to go. So got 2 days of streaming the Poker Players Championship, and then I'm out of here just for a week.
No main event. Oh, okay.
No, back for the day 2s and day 3 of the main event. I'll miss the day 1s, but Joe will be fine
what's a
with that.
vacation for you? Like for me, it's a beach. But what's yours?
Bermuda.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're coming back. I'd like to say, I think that the EPT commentary and the streams are one of the best out there, and it's due to you and Joe and all the other guys, Griff, and I like all those guys that do the commentary, and I think you'll add a lot to the main event commentary.
I appreciate
It'll be great.
it. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, it's a weird one. The last time I worked at the World Series of Poker was 15 years ago, summer of 2010, back when it was the old production company, 441 Productions, and we were doing live streams for ESPN. And especially with the developments in ownership last year, I never thought in a million years I'd come anywhere near it ever again. But again, here we are. But yes, back to your point, Chad, which is the meetup game. So Joe Stapleton will be headlining that meetup game.
That'll be great. On
Saturday at Resorts World. I think it's 6 till 9. It's going to be a 2-5 no limit cash game. And I think this is the real fun part of it. For anyone playing in that game, and it is going to be first come, first serve, by the way, there is going to be a crazy pineapple flip out hand to win a seat to NAPT Las Vegas in November, which is like, $5K in value. And I think even more exciting, that is going to be the first seat awarded.
Hey.
Suffice to say, between now and November, there's going to be plenty of chances to win NAPT seats through Stars, through Resorts World. But this will be the first that will be awarded at that meetup game. Joe's going to be there because he's not playing anything that day. And we're not streaming on that Saturday. But other ambassadors likely to be there, but as ever, it's, if I make day 2, if I late reg this. So yeah, hopefully there'll be other people there as well. It won't all be about Joe. He'd love it if it was. His ego needs the attention.
Well, you guys are great on the big game too. When does the next season of that come out? It just wrapped up the first part.
Yeah. So basically, season 2 is split into kind of like 3 chunks, if you like. So like 5 episodes. So those 5 episodes, you're 100% right. That's wrapped. We haven't even voiced the next 5 yet.
Oh, okay.
But I think they'll probably hit the PokerStars YouTube channel and Fox Sports in the US in the fall, probably like September, October.
Okay.
And then towards the end of the year, the final 5 episodes. I know in an ideal world, you'd get all 15 in a go, but I think it's also quite fun to space them out. But yeah, all I will say is I think this season gets better. I think that, some people are asking, where's Alan Keating? Where's Phil Hellmuth? It's like, they're coming.
They're coming? Okay. I'm going to miss Jennifer, though. I love Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
She's my favorite.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to her getting to Vegas. I messaged with her. She is apparently coming at some point. So,
well, she was here. She was
yeah,
playing
she was,
some
and
stuff.
I missed her because I wasn't.
Oh man, can we get her on the podcast?
I'll ask.
Please, Jennifer,
I'll ask.
please.
Yeah. I mean, she's just an absolute delight. And if she was at every table of every live stream of every TV show ever, it would not be too much.
One big event that's happening at the World Series of Poker right now, you can follow the updates on PokerNews.com, is for the 50K Poker Players Championship. This was obviously one of the premier events of the summer. It always is. And this year, I actually asked. Somebody asked me on Twitter, so I said, let me try to find out. So I texted the right people and I said, where's the Chip Reese Trophy? It hasn't been around for a while. I was told it was damaged beyond repair.
Oh, no.
But they were going to debut a new trophy. And they did. I'm like, can I get a sneak peek? And they did bring it to the office. I was able to see it, hold it. And then we took some very nice professional photos of it. I don't think it's quite as good, but I understand. It's got the winning hand from 2006 when Chip Reese won, which is, I think, 2 pair, 4s, 7s with an ace. And it's got everybody's name on there, up to Daniel Negreanu, who's the defending champ. So I'm happy that this at least gets the trophy back. We're getting the history back in it a little bit. There was a player who busted first. I know you guys don't know this right now, but I'm going to quiz you. Who do you think was the first player to bust this year's PPC? I'll tell you this. He's won it before.
Ryan Rast.
No. I'll tell you he's won it twice before.
Jungle Man.
Jungle Man is not winning it a third time.
Because am I right in saying there are 2 players who've won it 3 times, Rast and the Grinder?
That's right. And then Dan Cates back-to-back
years, which is... It's so impressive the way that this, in a relatively short period of time, the fact that you've got multiple winners and a back-to-back winner as well. And yeah, you look at the names on that trophy, there's, as it should be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's, the various disciplines and that high buy-in, it should be the best in the world. And as evidenced by who's won it over the years.
Absolutely. We will have more of a recap on that in coming up episodes, but you can sweat it, as I said, on PokerNews.com. That's getting towards the end of this episode. Tell us, we know you're going on vacation, but then you're going to be back for the main and doing a lot of commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. There will come a point, of course, where PokerGo take over the coverage and it becomes exclusive to PokerGo subscribers. But for at least the next few days, we got the final table of the Women's Championship. We've got we're doing 2 days of the Poker Players Championship, the 50K, and then it's all about the main event. But yeah, it's just really exciting. And what I do like is the fact that with the other language streams as well, the fact that PokerStars has dedicated channels for French audiences, Italian audiences, and Brazilian audiences, the fact that it is bringing the World Series to an international audience and making it an international series, which it should be, by the way. I do feel in recent years it's become very North America centric. So I'm glad that we're able to kind of like amplify it to more of a global audience.
Absolutely. And I know you're going to be playing in the Ladies Championship, no doubt, right?
I will try again. I've never cashed it, but maybe this year's my year.
You know who's won that event before?
Jennifer Tilly.
So that'll be the only thing, by the way, that does derail our holiday plans, is if my partner goes deep in the Ladies Championship and we're then having to change flights at the last minute because the final day is the day we're meant to leave.
Yeah, I hope that happens and that I'm at the table again with her, because we were at the final table before together for a ladies event. So I hope we repeat history here.
So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
So
yeah, true.
Well, that is going to do it for episode 901 of the Poker News podcast. Remember, we're doing 2 episodes a week throughout the 2025 World Series of Poker, 8 a.m. Pacific time every Thursday and Sunday. I'm Chad Holloway, Kyna England, and James Hartigan.
Thanks, Chad.
Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you. Hey everybody, Chad from the Poker News Podcast here at the brand new Planet Hollywood Poker Room, inviting you to join us this Friday from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m., probably a little later, for our first Poker News meetup game. We're going to be playing lots of mixed games, No Limit Hold'em, Pot Limit Omaha, you name it. And what's more, we're going to be doing lots of giveaways. Prizes like Poker News Podcast t-shirts, we've got Poker News hats, we've got books, autographed books at that. We've got backpacks, we've got lots of more. Join us for your chance to win. I've even got some shirts from your favorite online poker sites like Full Tilt Poker, or even better yet, Ultimate Bet. Remember those guys? No, but seriously, I have a great grand prize that we're gonna be giving away. It is this autographed, signed Daniel Negreanu's winner photo from his 50K PPC win last year. I had this signed. So what we're gonna do, just show up, I'll give you a ticket, and you will be entered to win this autographed poster of Daniel Negreanu. It's gonna be a fun night, lots of action. Kyna England, Mike Holtz, myself, and everybody associated with Poker News will be here at the new Poker Room at Planet Hollywood.